everyone, welcome to Structured Mess, a podcast series where we discuss the messiness of the marketing world and how to build some method to this madness. Today, we are talking about how to hire the right people at the right time in marketing and advertising agencies. My guest today is Bo, founder and self proclaimed intern at the Voice Company. He has worked at big names like Ogilvy and JWT and now runs his own agency, The Voice Company. We're going to get into what really matters when building a great team and everything around it. Bo, before we dive in, I'd love for you to introduce yourself to our listeners and share a bit about your journey and what you're working on these days.
I mean, you've already introduced me, so I don't know what else I can add to that, honestly. But yeah, as you said, I've been in advertising for about, oh shit, I think about 22, 23 years.
Yeah.
I started off in Calcutta. I moved to Delhi in 2000. When did I move to Delhi? 2007. Yeah, I've been here since then.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hopped around in a bunch of places before starting my own thing in 2019. That's when I
Mm.
went independent. It's been a lot of fun. And it's also been messy, as the name of the podcast suggests. So it's been, yeah, I'm looking forward to just talking about it. What am I working now? Currently, I'm working on a bunch of brands, honestly. But also working on a bunch of other things. Like today was my first DJ class.
Oh, I just saw your
Yeah.
post. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
How
I
did that
just like
go?
it went great, not bad at all. It's been a dream of mine since I think I was about 13, 14 years old.
Yeah,
And I thought, let me just tick that off my list before I die. Who knows when people die, right? I might die while
absolutely.
talking to you right now.
I
It's
hope
quite
not, but
possible.
absolutely.
But what a great podcast that would be if I died on the podcast.
I guess. Not really
No,
keen on that,
it'll
but
go
I
viral.
guess. Yeah. I don't think that's the point. I'm sure the entire marketing with Bo cohort would be really, really sad if that happens.
Yeah, people will move on. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump into your
All
questions. I'm
right.
very excited.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Let's dive right in. I think first question I have for you is something I mentioned in the introduction that you call yourself a founder and an intern. So how does that title, specifically the intern part, play out with your team in the everyday work life?
Okay, so I'll tell you where. So, okay, I get asked this question a lot, obviously.
Mm.
And I'll tell you where it comes from. So, partly where it comes from is almost like a, how do I put it? It's like an attitude of mine. It's like how I go about life. That's one answer. I
Right.
mean, the fact that I think that I'm inherently very curious about a lot of things. I like the whole learning curve. So whatever I'm trying to learn, I like being on that learning curve. Even now,
Right.
when I mean, I've been a copywriter for 22 years. I feel I'm still learning. I
Right.
learn so much from other people. I learn so much from other agencies. So it's just a mindset thing. This intern thing
Mm.
is just a mindset thing. But the other answer is the fact that when I started the voice company, it was just me. There was no one else. It
Right.
was just me. I had a few clients and I was doing client servicing. I was doing creative. I was doing a little bit of design and all the stuff that I couldn't do. I was doing financing. So
Right.
I mean, I was the founder, I was the intern, I was the chai boy, I was the accountant, I was so many things when I started out, right? And somehow that designation just sort of stood, it's not changed at all. Let
Yeah.
me
Do you think that still
let me
stands
let,
true
let,
today?
let me show you this.
Ah,
My
your
business
visiting
card
card.
has this. Yeah, yeah. So
Right. And do you think after I think we'll get to this later, but after having a team of solid six people now, if I'm not wrong, do you think the title still stands true? And
yeah, for sure. As I said, I mean,
okay,
it's also a life thing, right? It's a mindset thing. So I mean, I
right,
don't think that mindset's ever going to change. Sure, I
absolutely.
don't do a lot of the stuff that I was doing when I first started the company, but then the mindset doesn't change. The mindset stays the same.
Right, right, right. Absolutely. I think that mindset is pretty unique. I mean, even when I was doing copywriting with Bo and when I, heard about it and saw about it, I've never seen it a lot, but I think it is a very solid way to put what you're practicing into words, which I guess is your entire job. So that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're
Is
right,
it
but
also
also,
so?
I mean, if you look at the other side of it, I mean, as humans, we're obsessive with designations, right?
Yeah,
I mean, the fact that you want to keep jumping from one designation to the next and to the next and to the next, right? We've all done that.
absolutely.
I've also done that. I've also chased designations. But sooner or later, you find out in life that these designations are useless. They don't matter
Yeah,
at all. You know, I mean,
agreed.
you could be called whatever, but as long as the work that you're doing is good, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter what you're called. So, I mean, case in effect is that whoever joins the voice company, the first thing I tell them before I send them an offer letter is call yourself whatever. What's the designation that you want? I don't care.
right.
You want to call yourself a creative director? Go ahead, call yourself a creative director. You want to call yourself a creative anarchist? I don't care. Call yourself
Yeah,
whatever you want. It doesn't matter to me. These names are useless.
agreed. I think, as you very well mentioned, that at the end of the day, it's only the work that we do that matters.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I think it's not going to be so and so person from so and so company, so and so campaign. It's just going to be so and so person came up with the so and so
Yeah.
campaign and executed that. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
absolutely. I think it also sort of, talking about mindset, it also sort of makes me curious about the big picture stuff about hiring, like how you see that. Because as we talked about, you sort of sending people an offer letter and being like, choose whatever designation you want. And I've also gone through your onboarding document that you've created. So I do think that you have nailed it down to a point, but I want to understand what's the so-called easy part about hiring people that's actually really hard, but somehow it's never talked about in the advertising industry.
Easy. There
What
is
is that?
nothing easy about hiring. There is nothing easy about hiring. It's a pain in the ass.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah. It's horrendous. And I'm trying very hard not to go down the whole Gen Z bashing thing,
Yeah.
but it's it's really hard. I mean, I'm not going. No, I'm no control.
All right. All right.
I'm not going down that road.
All
But
right.
it's just
All
very
right. All
hard.
right. All right. I think, okay. Then I have an alternate question for you, which is when you are hiring, what are the traits that are often overlooked in traditional hiring structures? Because you speak a lot about empowering individuality and,
Yeah,
challenging norms frequently. So, how do you
yeah.
assess those traits in people when you're hiring them?
So see, it's honestly a mix of things, right? I mean, the way I personally hire is that I'm not looking for the perfect candidate. That's number one, right?
Right.
So, for example, if I'm looking for a designer, I'm not really looking for someone. Let's say I'm looking for a designer with about 3 years of experience, right?
Hmm.
I'm not looking at how proficient and technical this person is, even though that's simple,
Right.
right? I'm looking for um, some form of energy. Does this person have potential? You
Right.
know, and that potential is often seen in portfolios. Either you can see the potential or you can see the lack of potential, but either way, you'll understand.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
number one. So that's the first level of screening that usually
Right.
happens, right? And once that screening happens, and of course, there's the call and there's the. I mean, it's less of an interview and more of a just. People call it a vibe check, but it's just a conversation. It's not a
Absolutely.
conversation from a hiring manager to someone who wants to get hired. It's a
Right.
conversation about life, about aspirations, where they see themselves, what kind of work do they like doing, what
Right.
excites them. And the reason we have this conversation is to see not just for myself, but for that other person, right?
Right.
Do you even want to work with me, right?
Right.
Because I feel that life is very short, right? As I said on before we started, I might die during this talk.
Yeah.
Uh, it's very unpredictable, right? And I think life is so short that you shouldn't waste your whatever little time you have on this planet to work for wrong energies. I'm not saying the wrong workplace, wrong
Yeah.
energies. I'm a huge fan of just energy,
Right.
and I found out I've hired wrong people as well.
Right.
I usually hire by gut, and within the first couple of weeks to a month, you figure out that what this energy is not matching. The work may be
Right.
great,
Right.
right? no problem with the work, but the energy is just not there. And this is very simple. You can apply to the workplace. You can even apply this to a house. When guests come over,
Yeah.
sometimes you'll feel like they belong in that house, even though they've just walked in,
Yeah.
right? And sometimes you'll feel you can't wait for them to fucking leave because you're like, this person is just not my jam, you
Yeah.
know. So
Absolutely.
it's the same thing. It's just like either you learn to listen to that vibe and that energy, or you choose to ignore it. That's what
Right.
it is, I guess.
I guess, yeah, very interesting. I think that also makes me wonder how, what role does this energy or this chemistry, what role or what impact does it have in terms of hiring the person and if they vibe with your existing team members or not? Because I think in corporate structures, especially here, what happens is that the person ends up getting hired and then they sort of meet the team, right? And a lot
Yeah,
more often than not, they actually might either the person who has been hired or the team might just feel like it's not a good fit, and ultimately they have to work with each other, right? So, do
yeah.
you have a process for that?
No, there is I can't have the entire team meet every candidate.
Right,
I don't even think that should happen. You
right.
know, but the thing with energy is
Hmm,
that sometimes a person will bring in a very different kind of energy, and then
hmm,
the existing team will sort of, their energy will change a little bit. So it's not a good or bad thing. It's just that
right.
this energy is a living thing, right? So it
Hmm, hmm.
constantly evolves.
Evolves,
Right
right.
now, let's say there's a singular energy from one person, and then there is a group energy, right?
Hmm,
Now, let's say with the six people who work at the voice company currently, there's a group energy, right?
hmm.
I bring in a person, say number seven, who comes in here, right? That group energy is going to change.
Yeah.
That's the best case scenario. The worst case
Hmm,
scenario is that it's like oil and water. It's not going to match at all, right?
yeah.
In which case we are going to have a very honest conversation. Saying, I mean, I mean, I can't let go of everyone, right?
Right.
So you make it work.
Right,
That's what you
right.
do.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. I think that also going to our earlier point, that also makes me wonder when, especially in creative fields, you're really passionate about training the next generation
Yeah,
of
I am.
copywriters, right?
I'm gonna smoke. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. So you're really, really passionate about training the next generation of copywriters. It makes me wonder that as you build your team for the voice company, do you prefer to hire people who are already great at the skill they have, or
No,
those that you can hone?
people I can own. Yeah.
Right.
So again, it's a slightly textured and layered question. I'll tell you why.
Mm,
Um, I just hired a senior person
right.
about a month back or so. Now, for that person, I can't hone that person because that person needs to come in with a certain kind of experience, right? So
Expertise.
when I
Yeah.
was hiring, I mean, I've worked with him before in the past. He's a very, very, very good guy. And I knew that I wouldn't have to handhold him. Why would I bring on someone senior and then micromanage them? That doesn't make any sense, right?
Absolutely.
But for the slightly junior people, I would prefer bringing in someone who, I think hone is not the right word, but I just think that I think every single person brings in something good in the relationship, right? So
Absolutely.
I would like to sort of make them see a different kind of communication. And when they stop working with me and move on, they'll meet someone else who can make them see a different kind of communication, right? So
Right.
I would prefer people like that instead of having people who know it all. Because I myself
Right.
don't know it all. So what am I going to
Yeah.
teach?
Yeah. And I think it also sort of brings a certain amount of vulnerability to the dynamic, right? If you are not like, at least that's been my experience, that people who tend to quote unquote know it all, there's like a barrier that you cannot ever cross because
Yeah.
you never
I
can
I
be
I
vulnerable.
I was that person, by the way. When I was about maybe 22 to about 25 years old, I was a pain in the ass. I mean, I was Mr. Know-it-all, and then it
Right.
took me about 4 5 years to understand that I didn't know jack shit. So,
Right.
but also I think I was very young. I was very impressionable. I was just trying to ape a lot of people around me. But yeah, I mean, thankfully I've matured over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. I think thinking about that and thinking about just personal authenticity as a concept, how do you weigh personal authenticity against professionalism of a person and deciding when they, like when you have to onboard them, how they fit into your team, and what role, what importance or weight do those qualities get? Because I think, especially
Um,
in creative fields, right? I ask you this question because, especially in creative fields, you also made a post about it a couple of days ago. Especially in creative fields, people tend to sometimes be a little loosey goosey that, oh, yeah, this will be done. Deadlines don't matter because I don't have great ideas as of now, and things like that. So, how do you deal with that when making your hiring decisions? Like, is that something that's
but I
flexible
see
or
that's not something I'm going to know beforehand, right?
right?
When I'm hiring someone, I make it explicitly clear. I have never missed a deadline in my life,
Right,
right? My agency has never missed a deadline in its life, right? It's
right.
an extension of who I am, right?
Hmm.
So when people join me, this is a conversation I have with them, and it's even written on the onboarding document that
Right.
look, deadlines and timelines are incredibly important for us, right? And it doesn't matter whether you're creative, client servicing, whatever. I don't give a fuck, right?
Right,
As a human being, you have to adhere to timelines. It's as simple as that, right? Now,
right.
let's say you fuck up.
Hmm.
Everyone's allowed to fuck up, right?
Yeah,
But then when you fuck up, you have a conversation. And
yeah,
hopefully you won't fuck up again. But if you carry on fucking up, I mean, look, it's not something I believe in, right? I mean, this is not the kind of work I enjoy doing. So
yeah.
they'll have to be let go. I have never let anyone go because of that.
Right.
Everyone's been super like proficient, super on time. There's been no problem. In answer to your other question, you were talking about authenticity. I'll tell you a story. There was a person who I was interviewing. He was a designer, and he wasn't like me at all. Like
Hmm.
we were poles apart in terms of how I communicate and how he communicates. He was imagine the opposite of me. Like I
Hmm.
love talking, as you can probably see.
Yeah.
This person was an introvert, didn't talk much, very good at work. And then when we ended the call, I really thought to myself, is this the right guy to hire? Is this
Hmm.
guy going to fit in with the team that I've built? Is this guy going to fit in? Is this guy going to be easy for me to work with?
Hmm.
And then what I finally hired him. And the reason I hired him was because this guy was so authentic. He was unapologetically authentic about who he was. And for
Right.
me, that's a winner.
Yeah.
That's a complete winner because that's again who I am. I honestly don't. I think the older I'm growing, the less I care about what
Hmm.
people think,
Hmm.
and the less I try and pretend to be someone who I am not. Right?
Yeah.
And I think when people try and be someone who they're not, they fuck up because it's not a natural. It's like wearing someone else's clothes.
Yeah.
It's not a good look.
Yeah.
So, but authenticity rates. I mean, both authenticity and being professional rates same. It's the same place. It's not one above the other. You need
Right.
both.
Right. Right. Okay, that makes sense. And I think coming to the point of the story you shared, it does make sense because there is also this confidence in knowing that even though the person is poles apart than you are getting what you're seeing. So there's not going to
Yeah,
be any surprises down the
correct.
line. Because, as you said, it's very difficult to remain consistent if you're not true to being true to who you are, right? If you're posing, you're going to get tired of posing after a point,
Yeah,
and then that's going to be a hassle for everyone involved, including you.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but tell me something about leadership. What have you learned about being a leader or a person that so many people that you're training, but also people in your company that look up to you, and through your own experience from so long in the field, just tell me about how your experience overall has been being a leader to all these people.
I don't look at myself as a leader.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's a very loaded question, and it's something I've thought of quite frequently. I think this whole leadership thing comes with a badge, right? And
Mm,
when you think of yourself as a leader, you immediately, whether you like it or not, whether it's on purpose or it's not on purpose, you immediately put yourself up a little bit on a
yeah.
pedestal, right? So your vantage point from a leader is always down, right?
Mm,
I'm not saying you're looking down on people, but your
yeah.
vantage point is this.
Yeah.
Um, I've always seen myself as one of the pack. I'm actually the underdog. That is who I am. I'm the underdog. I have no aspirations to be, more than what I am, right?
Right.
And the reason why I suspect I connect so well with people across age groups. Like, I mean, I have friends who are my daughter's friends. We
Yeah.
hang out, we chill together, right? So I have friends from that age group, which is about 13, 14, and I have friends who are in their mid 60s, right?
Right.
And good friends. I'm not just talking about acquaintances, good friends.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think the reason I'm able to have such a broad spectrum of friendships, um, and also, when I teach, I connect. I'm not a teacher and you've seen me teach, right? I'm not a teacher
Yes.
who's sitting here and oh, this is how it should be done.
Yeah.
Listen to the leader. That's not me at all, right?
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm on the same plane as you, and I'm talking to you sideways. I'm not talking to you from here, right? So this whole thing of leadership is not something I've understood properly. Ever since I was young, I never understood why certain people were the way they were.
Mm,
Senior people, it just doesn't come naturally to me. You know.
right. But do you suppose, okay, I think then my next question would be, do you suppose when you're training people, or when people ultimately join the voice company and at any given point want to look for guidance, and they come to you, how does that play out? Like, how?
So that's very simple, right? I mean, just because um, I have had more years of experience than someone who's joining in, I would say 75% of the time, I mean, my word will be the last word just because of the experience I've had, right?
Mm,
But this other 25%, and there have been many, many cases in my career where not just at the voice company, in other agencies
mm,
as well,
mm,
right? There are people who are far junior to me who said that, you know what, you're wrong. This is actually the correct way. And when I've thought about it, I've realized they're absolutely right. You know,
right.
so it's
Okay,
not
but
so. I think
yeah,
as a person, you have to also understand that while you do carry certain years of experience, that doesn't take anything away from someone else who's looking at something with fresh eyes, right? So
right. And I guess that sort of, okay, now that I think about it, I guess that sort of actually adds to them being comfortable speaking up and being like, hey, I think this might work better.
yeah,
Versus you looking like being a leader for them and looking not down on them, but them being a little intimidated that you have more experience might not work out the best in this situation
correct,
ultimately.
absolutely. See, at
Yeah,
the end
right.
of the day, it's very simple. At the end of the day, we're all here to do good work, right?
Yeah,
Now, whether that piece of work is mine or it's someone in my agency who has 1 year of experience, doesn't matter.
right.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter. At the end of the day,
absolutely.
it's the work of the voice company, it's the work of the client. That's all that we're
Right.
here for.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think my next question to you would be, at least that has been my experience working in an agency. Small agencies, I think agencies in general, but small agencies more so, the work and the workflow can be a little chaotic, at least, especially in marketing and advertising. Do you have a process or a litmus test sort of a thing to spot someone who can survive this chaos and actually deliver good work? Because
Um,
as when I think about it, as you said, it's a lot of hassle hiring and then it not working out and rehiring people. So do you have a process for that, or what
there's no
yeah,
process. This is the process. It's as old school as this. It's just a list all of us create in the morning when we get on a call and say, okay, this is what needs to be done. And by the end of the day, the goal is to finish those things. There is no litmus
right.
test, or there is no real way to assess whether someone is going to finish everything at the hiring stage. There is no way
Hmm.
to assess that. You can
Hmm.
only hope that it's going to happen once they join. And when
Hmm.
everyone, when let's say, um, I did have someone who wasn't great at speed, right? Who would
Hmm.
take a long time to create something. Now, when this person saw that the rest of the team were finishing their tasks on time, that person also buckled up, right? I mean, so
Yeah.
it's infectious. This kind of thing is infectious. You
Right.
just pick it up and you learn, and it's not like I've had to have conversations with them or anything like that. It's just something you pick up. Either you pick
Right.
it up or you
Or you
don't pick it up.
don't. Yeah.
So it's a self-fixing mechanism.
Yeah. Okay. Before we move into a quick fire round that we have for you, I think my last question to you would be that if you had to write a guide to thrive in marketing agencies, what would the chapter one be called?
Huh. How to survive in marketing agencies.
It's really tough. At least from the people I've heard, it's really chaotic and it's really
It's not, I
tough.
don't know why people say it's that tough. It's not that tough. Any job is tough.
Any job is tough, I
Any
agree. But
job
I
is tough.
feel
And any
like
job is easy. I don't think marketing is especially tough. I think marketing is one of the easier professions in the world because most people who are entering marketing slash creativity inherently enjoy what they do. So it's easier. I don't think it's
absolutely.
tougher.
No, I
So
feel like more so not the job itself, but what I've heard is and somewhat experienced is the entire process of doing the job.
yeah.
I feel like having a method to the madness, what we spoke about earlier, I feel like more often than not, it's more madness and no method, which I'm not sure why it happens, especially in agencies, but
That's again not really true because all the places at least I've been at, there is a process to everything that you're doing. There is a
mm,
process, right? Now, for
mm,
example, let's say that you're at a marketing agency and you're briefed on a print ad, right?
mm,
There is a process to come up with that print ad. The first part of the
mm,
process is thinking, right?
right,
Now, everyone knows if you're in a marketing agency, you know what that process is.
mm,
The
mm,
only way you have no idea what that process is if you're an intern or a trainee, where you don't have exposure,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
it's up to mentors in the industry. It's up to the people, senior people in the organization, to show you the ropes and say, look, this is how we create a print ad. This is the first step that you have to do. You have to think, then you
mm,
have to scribble. Once you scribble, you sit with a designer, you sit with an art partner, you execute it, you do a lot of referencing, and that's how you finally come up with a print ad, right?
yeah, yeah,
Now, so that's it. It's not. I disagree with the question that it's a hard or tough or confusing or
right.
chaotic environment. It's not. It's as chaotic as any place.
Any place, yeah, I guess, yeah. Right. I think then we can move on to our quick fire round. These are really short questions. Give me instinctive answers. Let's
Okay.
get started. If copywriting had a smell, what do you think it would be?
If copywriting had a smell, what smell would it be? I think it could be musty. That's the
Hmm.
image that comes to my mind. Must.
Okay. What is a song lyric you wish you had written?
Most of Leonard Cohen's songs.
Oh, I love Leonard Cohen. Actually, I'll show you. I
I
think my
mean, his
favorite,
songs are poetry. I mean, that's why I love his songs because it's less of a song and more of poetry.
I agree. I think he's primarily a poet,
Yeah.
but he had to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
a,
I don't
yeah,
think he's a singer. Like, I don't think he has a great
he's not.
singing voice. You
Yeah.
know,
So the
like
story
Bob
is he
Dylan. Bob Dylan
actually,
doesn't have a
yeah,
great singing voice. Bob Dylan's a great
yeah,
writer.
yeah. So I think Leonard was a poet and ended up being forced to sing because that's what was popular, and his poetries did not work out originally, which is really sad, but
Yeah,
also
yeah,
really beautiful. Yeah.
yeah.
I think my next question would be one campaign that you'd show to aliens to explain to them what advertising is.
Are you talking about an existing campaign, like something that's
Yes.
happened?
Yeah.
Um, do you know the Perfetti? What was that? That second, that light shining from teeth. Um,
Happy didn't.
Happy Dent, McCann.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Prasun Joshi's work. Probably that one. That was insane. Like back in the day, or even Zuzu's for that matter. I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane stuff. Probably stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Absolutely. Okay. What is your go-to source of inspiration outside of reading, advertising, see watching campaigns? What's your go-to source of
I
inspiration
don't watch
outside?
campaigns. I don't read. I don't watch campaigns. My source of inspiration is talking to random people, and especially my daughter, though she's not random. I talk to my
Mm.
daughter a lot, and I get a lot of insights from her. And we talk, and then something she'll say will spark off something in my mind, and I'll somehow connect that to something I'm working on. So it's a very interesting journey. And talking to random people because I get most of my insights from human beings. So that's always
Yeah.
been important.
I remember you telling us that in the cohort as well, you being like, just, go to random places, go to random cafes alone, sit next to people and talk to them. That's the best way to think of ideas.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah,
that, and I've been applying that ever since, and it's been really, really great. So, yeah, that makes
yeah.
sense. What is one old school ad rule that you still obey to this date?
Old
Does
school
the
ad
process
rule.
evolve a lot though? Yeah.
I don't know if the process evolves or not, but I I think the most old school ad rule is not to follow any rules. I think
Mm,
that's the rule, right? Of fresh
right.
work, that's the rule of advertising.
Yeah.
Don't follow any rules.
Yeah.
That's what I try and follow.
Okay, great. Okay. What is the most overrated advice on copywriting, you think?
That attention span is low. People read shorter copy. That's disgusting. That's just wrong advice.
Okay. And I think my last question to you would be that if you could brand one everyday, very normal object, what would that be?
I would love to brand water, but it's already been done. Um, Love.
Okay.
Imagine,
Why, if
imagine
I
a
may ask?
campaign for love. I don't know. I mean, you take something uh, which is so nebulous and intangible,
Hmm.
and then you make it. You turn that into a brand. What a challenge that would be, right?
Right.
I think
Yeah.
yeah, just because of that, it would be really fun.
And such a universal and beautiful thing, such a vast
Yeah,
audience.
everyone wants it, right? Everyone
Yeah.
everyone desires it.
Yeah. I guess absolutely. Bo, I think this call and this conversation with you has been really, really great in more ways than one because I think you disagreeing with me at some points has given me some food for thought. So I had a baller time knowing how to think about people, creativity, hiring, and even leadership. So thank you so much for sharing your stories and your perspective with us today.
Thank you,
And
Mansi.
absolutely. And I know our listeners will be taking a lot away from this. So it was really great having you. Thank you, thank you, thank
It
you
was
so
my pleasure. Thank
much.
you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And to everyone listening, if you enjoyed this conversation, make sure you interact with Bo, like, share, subscribe, and keep tuning in for the next episodes. I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.